Greetings from the San Francisco airport. This is how to deal with the data from a site that has multiple ports on it. And one of the first things I did was to go in here and click on each of the pulses of the pulse counter ports. Basically, there's 5 of them and only 4 of them I'm using. And I organize them, I sort them. In the home menu, I go to sort, sort and filter, sort largest to smallest. And I already did this step where I got rid of numbers that were basically over 1,000 pulses in a 15-minute period. I even questioned 111, but I'm going to let that one go for now. It's just the really big ones that I'm concerned about. And how I get rid of them is I just literally will put a 0 there if I want to get rid of them. I'm going to undo that one though. And then and then I go to the next one and I go sort largest to smallest, have it expand the selection, and then I get rid of the ones that are there. So I'm going to undo everything I just did because I accidentally put another column in here, and when I sorted these, it didn't bring the times along with it. So I didn't want to do what I just did without having I want to make sure that all the columns are touching each other. When one isn't touching it, then it'll do the sorting amongst these 5, but then the times will all be wrong. So, for future reference. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the time into the date and the time. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go into data and text to columns. And I'm going to tell it to take either a tab or a space as a delimiter between the date and the time. And you can see now it's split this, and it can now recognize this as date. The unfortunate thing is with these data loggers, the format that it provides for date and time is not recognized by Excel. But it is once I split them into date and time, like this. Now a date, remember, is actually a number, so I can convert all of these to a number. If I go into the home menu and go into here, I can say that this is a number. Notice that this number corresponds to the date, where January 1st, 1900 is considered 0, and every number after that is 1 more than that. This here is the time. That's also a number. Oops. Now I'm going to express it as a number. There we go. Now it's a fraction of a day. So what I'm going to do now is so that I can get it into a format that Excel can recognize is I'm going to add the date and time, or the date plus the time, and create another number right here. I'm going to say that this is equal to this plus that. And I'm going to drag that for the entire data set. And now I can convert this to date and time, and Excel will now recognize it. Go to custom. I'm going to go to month, day, year, hours, minutes. See what it does. There we go. Excel will recognize this one, I think, anyway. Alright, so it'll recognize this one. And so now, what I can do is I can order these from the oldest to newest. I do want to expand the selection. So now I have everything beginning. This is I'm going to get rid of these. I don't need these anymore. Whoops. Can't do that because that number is dependent upon those. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it as values. and that should have been good. So now if I get rid of these columns, it should still recognize that as, yes, as a date and time still. Okay, so somehow my pulse 1, pulse 2, or my ports got erased, but I can insert a row here so you know what everything is, so that I know what everything is. Insert sheet rows, and this is date time. This is port 1. This is Pepperwood, by the way. Port 2, port 3, port 4, and port 5. Center everything because I like it centered. Alright, so it's Pepperwood, and this data set happened to begin on June 24th, 2017. And to figure out what each of these ports is or was, I need to go into the log for the tipping buckets. Let's see if I can do that from here with the airport internet, which isn't great. Maybe I'll make this on the next video.